Successful people have a few things in common. Don't get me wrong. Successful people work very hard. They're very intentional, strategic, sometimes extremely tired, if I could be honest. But one of the things that I have learned over the years is that successful people have, for the most part, have one major thing in common. And if I can be completely honest, it took me many, many, many years to understand it and then even more years to adopt it. Welcome back to another episode. And first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for listening and watching, because right now we are on the podcast and we're also on the YouTubes. And so what's up, my YouTube people? Just want to say thanks. And that if you want to introduce more people to me, you can always share this episode. I would appreciate it. Today we are talking about, what are we talking about? We are talking about, the number one thing that successful people do. Listen, let's just backtrack. I honestly think that I'm hungry. I haven't had lunch today. I think that I'm hungry, but it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm going to eat in about 30 minutes. So we're talking about one of the things that successful people do. Now, don't get me wrong. Successful people, we read books, or let's just say they. Successful people, they eat well. Successful people exercise. Successful people, go to therapy. But one of the major things that I have learned about successful people, and what really started to turn my life and my business around, is getting up early. Now, some of y'all, I just lost you. You just went like, you just died because you were just like, I am a night owl. I've always been a night owl and I'm going to always be a night owl. I get it. I used to be a night owl as well, because it's like you can get so much done at night. But also, we all know that song. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out. The freaks come out. That also happens at nighttime. But anyways, we're not talking about that. So I used to be a night owl, right? I know y'all like, what is going on with her? No, I'm not on drugs. I think I'm just hungry. But I used to be a night owl. And it wasn't until I went into entrepreneurship back in, I think it was 2016. I quit my job and I started to try to build a successful business. I remember I was being coached at the time. And one of the things that he said was that you're going to have to treat your business like a job. And so you're going to have to get up like you're going to a job every single day. And you're going to have to be consistent with it like you have a job. I remember being like, is you nuts? I quit my job so that I don't have to have a job. And so I was on live stream. I was on Periscope at the time, and I was trying to, build my business. And I found myself like half of the day would be gone where I worked out. Now it's like 3:00. I'm trying to get started with work. And it was like, I realized as the time was going on that I was actually getting lazier and lazier and lazier. I was watching more TV, eating more stuff I shouldn't be eating, and then staying up super late. And my business was not growing. Honestly, I think I had got to a point where I was just like, oh my God, the money's dwindling. The money's going down. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do here. But at the same time, I was still battling depression from going through a divorce. It's just the truth. One day, I don't know how long it took, but one day I made a decision. I said, okay, I am going to start treating my business like it's a job. I'm going to get up every morning. I'm going to put my makeup on, put my clothes on, and I'm going to get in front of this camera. Listen, don't get me wrong. I was cute from the waist up. I can't say that I showered every day. I can't say I put on pants every day, but I was at least cute from the waist up. It was some effort, and I would go live every morning at 8:30 a.m. and I would teach and serve an audience every single morning at 8:30, and I would serve and serve and serve. And so what started happening was I started, to getting in this routine of building my business. I started having people, depend on, hey, she's going to be live. She's going to teach at this time. We're going to come and learn from Keenya at this time. And then I started being able to get people on my email list and then make sales, yada, yada, yada. And so fast forward, I just kind of continued that. Like even now, I wake up every morning at 5:30, feed my cats, pray, read, write my journal, go to the gym. And then usually I am dressed and ready by like 9:30, typically every single morning. I've had these moments where I'm just like, I'm just working this thing like a job. But I recognize that the most successful people that we all know or that we all look up to get up early. That doesn't necessarily mean that they immediately go to work, but they get up early and they get ready for the day. They go exercise, get fresh air, they drink their coffee, they read their paper, and they give themselves the day. For me, I find myself like I get my day before anybody is pulling on me and ask of anything from me. I am getting what I need. And I think that if more of us would adapt that, then we will find ourselves being more happier with life, more successful. And I don't mean successful in terms of money, in terms of life success. Just this morning, I was writing in my journal and I had gotten to the last page in that particular journal. And I just said, oh, wow, I wonder when did I start writing in here? And I had just started writing in there July 11th. So it was like 3 months of me writing in this particular journal. And as I was just like thumbing through the pages, I said, look at all the feelings that I've had over the last 3 months. I've been able to process them. I've been able to get them out. They're no longer stuck on the inside of me or in my heart or in my head because I've been able to get them out. If I was getting up at 8 o'clock, I wouldn't have the time or the space to write and get all of that stuff out of me. I think about all the days that I've cried sitting there in that spot because I'm happy, because I'm sad, because I'm afraid, whatever, just being able to have that space, for that. Now, I don't have any children, but I have animals. And it's like, one of the things I get to do early in the mornings is I have 3 cats. Each of my cat gives like a little bit of my time. It may not be a lot, but a little bit of my time. And I'm not rushed in that time because I'm not rushing to something. Now, it's the same thing with someone who has children. You have to spend a little bit of time with each person in your life. But if I was getting up just in time to get dressed and I wouldn't have any time to spend with the individuals in my life, which is my cats. You know what I'm saying? When I think about the thought of waking up early, initially I hated it because it meant that I would miss out on something at nighttime, that while people are out hanging out, I got to come in because I got to go to bed. But one of the things that I have noticed is I'm getting much better quality of sleep. I'm finding myself taking much better care of myself. I didn't have a nighttime routine till like recently, like a year, maybe, like a year ago. Now I have this regular nighttime routine that I do to just take care of myself. And I just recently ordered an Oura ring so that I can track my sleep and get even much better quality of sleep. Because I'm like, when I'm in my waking life, I want the best quality of life all the time. If this is also going to make me even more financially successful, then let's go. I want that as well. I just want to share like one of the things that we just keep learning from the successful people is that they all have some very similar habits. They eat well, they exercise, they treat themselves well in terms of, the people they have around them, the things they're taking in, and then waking up early. And if you are thinking about doing this, and if you had to choose just one reason to do it, it would be to give yourself some time. So before anybody else pulls on you, gets something from you, has a conversation with you, and before anybody can do anything with you, you first do it with yourself. Does that make sense? Like, it makes me so happy when I'm able to get down to the gym before going to work. I feel good that my ring in terms of like my Apple Watch is like, it's going to be done by the end of the day. My body got moving. I'm not stiff. I'm going towards my weight loss goals and, just moving my body because, a body in motion stays in motion. I just feel so happy when I'm able to do these little things for myself. Like, if you have been considering, because here we get ready to go into 2023 and we're going to all start making New Year's resolutions, which I do believe in. And if you're thinking about creating a new habit for the new year, for me, I would encourage you to make it getting up a little bit earlier. Yes, that is going to mean you're going to go to sleep a little bit earlier, but you're going to watch the value of what happens when you're up a little bit earlier and no one's pulling on you and you get this little space for yourself. And if you're going to do that, then I'll say add in journaling during that time. Even if you just write a couple of words in that notebook, I can go on and on and on about this. But if you're going to adopt a new habit upcoming year for yourself, your life, your family, whatever, my encouragement is to take after successful people and adopt this habit of getting up, even if it's 30 minutes early, start it with 30 minutes. And then you can go to an hour and you're going to watch how this is going to change your life. If you choose to do this, I want to know. You can either comment here on this video or you can let me know by just sharing this podcast episode into my DM on Instagram and say, hey, I listened to this episode and ABC. I want to know what yours is. Like, listen, I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. 5:30 is just fine for me, but I am adopting new habits. One habit I'm trying to adopt is the first thing that I do in the morning is drink a glass of water. That's a process because I'm like, wake up hungry. I'm ready to eat. So that's a new habit that I'm working on adopting. So in 2022, I added a couple new habits. I got Invisalign. So I'm like, listen, it's going to sound kind of gross, but sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like brushing my teeth at night. But listen, I brush my teeth in the morning and night, floss in the morning and night, right? Just fine. Sometimes I didn't feel like washing my face or moisturizing or putting serum or whatever on my face. So now I do the morning routine with the serum and all that, and then the nighttime routine. Also, I take communion now every single night, pray over myself, and then, go to bed. Also in 2022, I started changing how I sleep. And so I got a much better pillow to sleep on. I turned my AC down to 63 because when it's cold, the body is able to, do what it does. I got a sleep mask. So now that it's like super dark when I go to bed. And then I also put a tape on my mouth so that I can breathe through my nose while I'm sleeping and not breathing through my mouth. And that's keeping me from having bad breath. It's causing me to not snore, and I'm just getting a much better quality of sleep. And then I just ordered the Oura Ring. Once that comes in, then that'll be the new habit. Now I have been trying to try these CBD gummies that Shalene's are talking about, but they're kind of weird for me. One of them I had a bad dream. The other one is just I'm like, okay, maybe because I take like some nerve medicine at night, it may not be good with the CBD gummies, but we'll see. We're gonna keep trying those out for a little bit, but we'll see what's going on with those. Okay, but these are all new habits that I adopted in 2022, and I've been sticking to them because they're working really well for me. So I will figure out what's going to be my newest goal or newest, habit that I'm going to adopt in 2023, and I'll let you know. But for now, I want you to think about getting up a little bit earlier so you can be one of those successful people.